Need some fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins? Go to MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 5% off your order. Link in the description below. Welcome back, YouTubers and Madden fans. This is Madden Money Shot, sniffing out the Madden cheese as always. We had a patch update, October 17th. There was a title update. I didn't really see how big the update was. I just kind of downloaded. It only took like a minute or two. It wasn't really too bad. But reading the patch notes, I did not see anything in the patch notes in the gameplay section that said that they really tuned or fixed anything as far as the defense goes. The last patch update that came out, there was a one line that said that they tuned and they corrected something in cover 3 and cover 4. It was just one line. There wasn't too much to it. Now there was a little bit, to me there was quite a bit that was changed. It was cover 3 and cover 4, how those defenses played. Like I said, they didn't really even do it justice in that slight description. Now a new patch update comes out and I immediately go right to the plays that I've been creating to beat these defenses, to see what still works and what doesn't work, to see what they might have patched, what they might have fixed. And I can't help but notice it looks like they seriously patched something that they didn't mention at all in the patch notes. It looks to me as if cover 2 might be one of the better defenses now, one of the better zone coverage defenses. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. That's why I'm in a practice mode setting. But like I said, I'll take you through the steps that I went to. One of the first things that I did, because I use the Saints, and when the cover 3 patch came out, I went ahead and I tried some cover 3 plays that I put out just to make sure that they still worked. So I'm just going to do that again real quick because, like I said, I just want to show you guys that there haven't been they didn't go ahead and repatch anything. So one of the cover 3 plays that I put out, this is one of the first things that I tried because it's one of my favorite plays. We're going to go ahead and move the ball to the middle here. This is one of my more favorite plays. So I immediately thought, like, oh man, I hope they didn't just patch that right away. And sure enough, they did. This play still works. So like I said, once I just basically went around and tried to find some of my more favorite plays. The cover 3 play still works. The cover 3 safety still reacts the same way. So then I went ahead and I moved on to some cover 2 plays. Now, one of my more favorite cover 2 plays out of this same Saints playbook is out of the Empty Y Saint. Now, I originally was doing this against the Patriots. So I was thinking that maybe the reason this wasn't working is because the Patriots secondary is really good. But I was trying these plays. Like I said, this is a good cover 2 play. All I got to do is motion this guy in, put him on a streak. And then I would just kind of streak everybody. This play here was actually getting shut down completely by the Patriots secondary. But now that I'm here against a lesser safety, it doesn't have that same effect. So this play still works. But like I said, I was doing against the Patriots. I think they really might have messed with the thresholds as far as how good a safety is, because I picked the Panthers on purpose because they're a pretty mediocre secondary. But certain things still got patched, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. The bench is probably one of the most consistent plays against cover 2. It's just based off of how it's designed. It just shoots right for the cover 2 gaps. So when I went to try this, and bear in mind that the safeties that I'm going against are a 79 and a 75. They're not very good at all. But when I went ahead and I tried to run my classic bench play, which, like I said, is a really good cover 2 play, look how he's all over that as he knocks the ball loose. That was not the case before this patch. I'll show you a couple plays like this where this is just, for whatever reason, suddenly it's a shutdown defense. Look at, and even the underneath coverage cornerback drops and gets underneath that really quickly and really tight to the line. Even if I make an adjustment, like say I put the X route on a flat, he's still going to be, he's all over that flat, and then by the time the ball gets thrown, I mean, you got guys all over it. He hung onto the ball there, but it's instant contact as you're making the play, which wasn't the case. So that's something that you can tell that they definitely patched how this cover 2 reacts. Now there's an easy way to basically get back to the way that it was and get the spacing that it was, and I figured all I do is put the X route on a streak. Now the streak, that was typically something that I would do in a cover 3 scenario to make it work against cover 3. Well, now to make that opening happen against cover 2, I have to go with that streak play. And you can see one thing, like I said, that underneath cornerback, he's still there. He still can take that away. I could have waited. I think part of the problem there is I could have waited a little bit longer. But you can see how much better these cover 2 outside cornerbacks and these cover 3 safeties cover space. Like I said right there, look at him. If he follows him all the way up the field, that was not happening before this patch. So you could see one of the things that they didn't mention that they did, that they definitely focused on, because cover 2 is pretty bad. If I saw somebody make the mistake of running a cover 2 against me, I would be hitting home runs nonstop, because it's one of the worst defenses in the game. Now it looks like it's one of the best defenses in the game as far as coverage goes. So like I said, these cloud flash, the way they communicate with the safeties, if I make this adjustment and I go ahead and I put that guy on a streak just to pull that cover 2 safety back, because he's kind of getting in the way, and then I go ahead and I motion over again and put him on a flat, this will give me a little bit more space. But you can see, I mean, there's that's really how you have to attack it now. And they still got over there as the ball was being caught. You can see how much space. Let's go to the replay. You can see how much space these safeties are covering, and these are not good safeties. This is a bum safety, and he's just getting all over the field. Now, if I were to try, I'm going to do it in a second, but if I try to throw over the middle, there's nothing there. Like, you don't have to put this middle linebacker, if you're still putting him in a mid-third, there's no reason to do that. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. You cannot beat these middle linebackers. I don't care how slow they are. They play the mid-third like a G. So, like I said, right here, we have this. Like, right here, he's got about, how many yards of space has he got from that safety? You know what I mean? He's got about 10 yards of space, maybe 12. You know, 10, 11, 12 yards of space as I'm throwing the ball. The ball is leaving my hands, and he's got 12 yards of space on this safety. And then watch how that dude closes by the time he gets there. I'm getting hit immediately as the ball's coming out. I also notice, I feel like the ball is coming out slower, which is something that I can't really, you know, fathom. I can't put that into words. But the ball feels like it's taking longer to get there. And the pass trajectory too, like it seems like it's unnecessarily led up the field. Now that was something that they mentioned in the patch, something to do with pass leading towards slants or something like that. But typically I would want this ball out to the sideline here, and it feels like it just hangs in the air. Could be Teddy Bridgewater's arm, I'm not entirely sure. This patch just came out, but like I said, no reason that with 10 to 12 yards of separation, by the time the ball gets to me, this dude's all over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he almost makes a play. Look at the guy's hand out right there. How close is he to making a play on that ball? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just ridiculous. So to me, I didn't notice that in cover 3, but I sure as hell noticed that in cover 2. So, you know, mess around with this. If you want to use a defense that you know, to me, like I said, they might have patched this into the new meta, that cover 2 suddenly is a boss coverage. And like I said, obviously you have, even this guy typically has been getting underneath routes where he typically would not. Once again, he's about 10 yards off. I bet if I threw that flat route, he probably would have been all over it and I would have got a yard. But let's go and let's try that. So like I said, I've just been messing around with this. This is a very good cover 2 scheme that I've been using, you know, normally with no issues, and suddenly it's giving problems. So I know without a doubt, if you want to beat cover 2 now, you really have to use a high-low concept where you have, you know, these guys pulling space. So like I said, that X route, he's all over that, that's for sure. And then like I said, I mean, that's the best way. I can still create space, but it's just you have to do it a different way. You can't just run, you know, like a stock bench switch used to create space. You can't do that now. They're all over that, and like the timing is way. Look how they're just both closing in on him. He didn't even hang on to that ball. You can tell the ball's out. So you can just see how they're both closing in on him. The cover 2 is no longer the easy mode defense of this game. You have to get a little bit more creative. You got to pull these apart. Look at that. Like, they're just all over that. You got to pull these zones apart way different now. You're going to need, at the very least, a stretching route, and you're going to need, at the very least, a low route. So if I were to run it just like this, I think that cornerback would be a little bit close for my liking. You know what I mean? Like, this is pretty much how it's going to have to be. And then, like I said, I can get space. But you're going to need something pulling deep. They cover those post routes a lot better than they did prior to the patch. Another play that I used quite a bit was the dig and go. I'm going to flip that. But this is another play that I used quite a bit. All I would do is put the X route on a fade. And I call this play because obviously the cover 2 really should be susceptible to what Cook is doing. That's a route that typically people would put, you know, the middle linebacker in a mid-third to take that away, because I have streaks on the outside. They should pull the safeties apart, and Cook should get, you know, separation over the middle. But like I said, there is no, the way that these guys are reacting, there really is no way to get that. You know, like I said, they're covering so much of the field. There really is no middle to take away from the cover or the cover 2s anymore. They're just not. There's nothing. There's no real threat. These safeties just handle it. You know what I mean? Like, I have a really top-notch offense here, and like I said, it looks like I got space, but I really don't. Like, by the time the balls get knocked, you know what I mean? Like, they're covering everything. These safeties now are really covering the deep, when they, you know, they're covering the deep half like they're all Devin McCourty or something like that, which is really outrageous. So here we go one more time. Like I said, this is a play I typically would go to the sideline anyway, and it's still there, but it's just not the way that it was. Like, it was an easy mode play before. Now it's a little bit 50-50. Although there I obviously had a pretty good play. But like I said, a lot of times, I mean, for whatever reason here, like, it looks like he's got a step, but there's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't throw over the middle. So, and like I said, the mid-third, the mid-read typically does a pretty good job of covering back. I'm surprised that they're not. I don't know if it's because the running back is taking the mid-read play away, but typically that's not the case. They're doing a better job. You know, the mid-read usually does a better job of following that middle back, but it doesn't seem to matter anyway, as I'm all messed up with my adjustments here. So like I said, I mean, this outside route typically works. Like I said, I don't know why he's like right there. Like, it's not as money as it was. You know what I mean? Like, these safeties are really doing, they're covering so much space. Let's watch the replay real quick. So like I said, this safety here, I'm trying to find out where he is compared to when I'm throwing the ball. So, you know, like I said, right here, I'm just dropping back. Here's where I start throwing the ball. So look at the space. Look how much space. As I'm releasing the ball, how far away is that safety? He's got his back turned. He's got his hips, he's running with the tight end. Okay, he's at the 22. All right, so I'm about at the 40, let's say. So that's almost 20 yards of space. And look at that. Boom, he gets over there and he's making a play. 20 yards of separation, bro, as the ball's coming out. You know what I mean? Like, this is insane. Like, there's no way. So I'm throwing the ball right there. Boom, ball's out of my hand right there. Okay, and there's almost 20 yards of separation. And this guy can come back and make a play on that. Like I said, man, cover two. That might be the way to go. Like, and he knocks the ball out. Like, I don't get you. Like, that's insane. Like, there's no way. You're telling me that this guy can react. He's flipped his hips. He's out of his back pedal, and he can just flip. Look, watch, he flips around like a cat. Boom, and he's right on that ball, knocking it out from 20 yards in separation. I don't know, man. Like I said, they might have made this just a little bit OP. But without a doubt, this is not even this probably isn't even the most OP thing. Like I said, I did want to get into you know, some of the other things in the patch notes, but without a doubt, this is one that definitely stands out to me. So let's go ahead and let's finish this video up, going over some of the patch notes. I'll definitely have plenty of cover 2 beaters in the future to beat this, because, you know, like I said, I've showed you already, there's definitely ways to beat the new cover 2. But it is no longer a sucker defense. Like, this is no longer stealing candy from a baby's type of defense anymore. This is a very good defense. So that's it. That's the video. If you guys want to see more update videos like this, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'll do that next. Other than that, thanks for watching. Madden Money Shot out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.